Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the 8th Annual Central Banking Awards. My name is Chris Jeffrey, Editor-in-Chief of Central Banking and Chairman of the Central Banking Awards Committee. It's my honour to host this celebration. Once again, it's not been possible to meet in person to celebrate all the remarkable achievements of the winners of the Central Banking Awards this year. But I'm delighted so many central bankers and market practitioners from all across the globe have participated in this awards video. We're privileged and very grateful for this participation. The Central Banking Awards were set up to recognise the outstanding contributions made by public officials at central banks and market practitioners around the world. This awards period covered the severe shocks triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic, meaning this year's awards recognise many of the exceptional actions central banks and their counterparties took to maintain financial stability and dampen the economic impact of the crisis. Many awards also recognise innovative thinking and technical excellence in services that facilitate central banks in fulfilling their public duties more effectively now and in the future. The awards were judged by the editorial team, assisted by members of our advisory board and contributory editors, to whom we are indebted for their invaluable counsel and guidance. They represent a celebration of achievement and, we hope, an inspiration for others to strive further. It's my privilege to recognise now the winners of the 8th Annual Central Banking Awards. The first award is for payment services. This US institution has emerged as an important provider of real-time digital payments, helping banks and small companies connect to core central bank infrastructure. It supported retail, real-time payments initiatives in Hungary and Malaysia, as well as higher value payments in Thailand to modernise the Southeast Asian nation's bulk payments processing system and introduce new ISO standards to support continued growth. Congratulations to ACI worldwide. The next award is for Payments and Market Infrastructure Retail. The COVID-19 pandemic reinforced the need for consumers to have the freedom to choose their payment method. This Central European Central Bank adopted this mantra at the core of its new instant payment system. The new system is open to banks and non-bank payment service providers and includes a directory service so consumers can use their mobile phone numbers and email addresses to send payments. The Central Bank of Hungary's strict implementation requirements, including a demanding set of protocols, testing schedules and tough consequences for missed deadlines, help support the acceleration towards electronic payments during the pandemic. Congratulations to the Central Bank of Hungary.
On behalf of the Central Bank of Hungary, I am very pleased to accept this award from the Central Banking. We have received this award for the implementation of the Hungarian instant payment scheme. And we have received it because the way of the introduction was a bit special. I know that in many countries there are instant payment schemes, but in Hungary we have introduced a few new elements. Maybe the most important and most unique element of this introduction was that in Hungary this was not a voluntary business of the banking sector, but it was made mandatory in a regulation by the Central Bank of Hungary. And due to this fact, on the 2nd of March 2020, all clients of any bank in Hungary has been started to use this new kind of payment. And this is a very big development in the Hungarian payment system, and this was the result of a very difficult and very challenging collaboration of the Hungarian banking sector, the Hungarian payment service providers, the Hungarian clearinghouse, and the Hungarian Central Bank and the Hungarian Chamber of Trade and Industry. As we said, the first phase has been closed, but now we are in the second phase of the development. In the first phase, we have created the basic infrastructure, and now the market players have to create the additional services. And I am very happy that we have already seen new products from the banking sector, like QR code payments, like mobile applications, and request to pay messages. And we believe in the central bank that this will create a new ecosystem in Hungary. And in this new ecosystem, we will see that in any kind of payment situation, there will be an electronic payment method, which is an alternative of the cash. And if this will be a reality in Hungary, then we can achieve the widespreading of the electronic payments, and we can reach our goal that 2030 we would like to see that at least half of the payments in Hungary will be executed in electronic form. Thank you for the award again.
Next up is the award for Payments and Market Infrastructure Wholesale. This Asia-Pacific central bank has embraced major payment infrastructure change during the last few years to reduce risk and future-proof the country's payments landscape. The launch of its new RTGS system and exchange settlement account system affords a secure platform for a future of round-the-clock banking innovation. For some of its upgrades, the central bank has taken an off-the-shelf approach to reduce complexity. It's also set up a range of communication channels to address concerns and test packages, so ensuring a smooth migration. The winner, of course, is the Reserve Bank of New Zealand.
Tēnā koutou katoa, and greetings from Aotearoa, New Zealand. I'm Steve Gordon, Head of Payment Services at the Reserve Bank of New Zealand. On behalf of the team here, I'm delighted to accept the Central Banking Payments and Market Infrastructure Wholesale Award. This was for the work that we've done on launching new payment settlement systems last year. The upgrade was extensive and complex. It involved many years of work, which resulted in the launch of 2 new separate payment systems under a multi-vendor support model. These 2 new systems allow every New Zealander and major institution to go about their daily lives settling their financial obligations with integrity and confidence. They have positioned us well for the future. I would like to especially thank our team who succeeded in completing this transition alongside our system users and our key project partners. Once again, thank you Central Banking for this award. We are honoured to have received it.
Next up is the award for Financial Market Infrastructure Provider. Many central banks needed to deploy new policy instruments to tackle risks associated with the COVID-19 crisis, but often lacked the infrastructure initially to do so. This US service provider has helped central banks, particularly in emerging economies, to create infrastructures to provide necessary emergency liquidity, and implemented important new systems in Angola, Georgia, Norway and the United Arab Emirates. It's done so despite the mass migration of traders from offices to home desktops. So many congratulations to Bloomberg. We now turn to the award for Currency Services Provider. The COVID-19 pandemic caused cash hoarding in many countries last year, with central banks seeking assistance from their banknote service providers to ensure they could meet significant increases in cash demand. By activating multiple contingency plans, this North American currency provider was not only able to meet existing commitments, but also respond to new orders from central banks needing additional stocks of cash, all the while continuing with important research and development work aimed at limiting counterfeiting volumes. Congratulations to Crane Currency.
Crane Currency is delighted to have been named as Currency Services Supplier of the Year. The global pandemic presented our customers with unprecedented challenges. It took the hard work and dedication of over 1,000 Crane Currency associates and our supply chain to ensure that we were able to deliver banknote security technology, paper and integrated banknotes to our customers on time throughout the pandemic, all whilst maintaining our extremely high standards of safety and quality. We appreciate that through its recognition awards, central banking has been able to acknowledge the efforts of this team, who strive every day to exceed our customers' expectations. Thank you to our customers, whom we are proud to support, and to central banking for this award.
Ensuring the sustainability of the cash cycle is a core concern for central banks. This company has made a concerted effort to not only reduce its own environmental impact, but also assist central bank clients in their recycling of banknotes. Its commitment is evident in its new recycling plant in Mexico and its implementation of emissions capture technology in the UK, aimed at reducing pollution related to the polymer production process. The winner is CCL Secure's recycling programme.
Thank you for this prestigious award. I'm absolutely delighted to accept it on behalf of CCL Secure and everyone involved in our global recycling programme. We're passionate about reducing the impact our operations have on the environment and helping our customers do the same. It's a solid commitment that we build on each and every day. So thank you once again for recognising our efforts so far with this award.
The Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank have been working to pioneer a new set of standards for banknote sorting machines. The aim was to ensure banknote sensors can be integrated into any banknote sorting machine, meaning manufacturers will not have to create multiple versions of sensors every time a central bank upgrades its banknotes with new machine-readable features. Finalised at the start of 2020, the new standards look set to change the face of the industry by ensuring more consistent banknote sorting across the world. The winner is the European Central Bank and Federal Reserve's CDI2 standards.
We are so happy to receive this Tech Forward prize from central banking. And indeed, we are bringing technology forward. We are innovating in the area of subtech.
At the ECB, supervisory experts and IT work hand in hand to build state-of-the-art tools that harness the power of artificial intelligence and other pioneering technologies.
Our approach is based on collaboration and cross-functional teamwork. We connect experts from different institutions of European banking supervision.
We take the award as great motivation to continue our subtech journey at full speed.
Thank you.
It's a great honor to accept the Currency Initiative Award on behalf of the Federal Reserve System. This award recognizes the strong partnership between the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank to advance the Common Detector Interface, or CDI2 standard. The Federal Reserve is implementing CDI2 into our next generation currency processing machines. And we're excited to be the first central bank in the world to prove CDI2 in a production environment. This technology will offer many potential benefits for central banks worldwide, and we believe it will open the door to new innovations in currency processing. On behalf of our entire team, thank you for recognizing our efforts to promote global standards, which we believe will create future benefits for the entire industry.
We now turn to the award for Currency Manager. Over the past 6 years, this European Central Bank has launched a completely new coin and banknote series, notably reducing the number of denominations in circulation by a third. It expertly navigated the communications landscape, learning from international best practice on how to successfully demonetize denominations in quick succession. The National Bank of Ukraine also took great care in choosing new state-of-the-art security features as it removed old banknotes from circulation. This net result should be a more usable, cost-effective and secure currency. Congratulations to the National Bank of Ukraine.
We are very grateful to the central banking for the award in the currency manager category. Our team has been working hard since 2014 to make the Ukrainian national currency safe and convenient. Thank you.
The next award is for collateral management services. Collateral management in many financial systems remains fragmented and unwieldy, with communications between legacy front and back office collateral management systems often being highly cumbersome. This is no longer the case in Switzerland, where Calypso technology has helped to develop a new integrated system offering flexibility, standardization and automation to the Swiss collateral management process. Launched in 2020, the new system, developed with the Swiss National Bank and 6 Swiss exchange, supports 170 participants with a daily turnover of more than 20 billion. Since deployment, no repo volumes were lost, with the transition taking place with no major incidents or complaints from market participants. The winner is Calypso Technology.
On behalf of the whole Calypso team, I'm honored to receive the Central Banking Award for the Best Collateral Management Service for the year 2021. After the Technology Provider of the Year in 2017, the Leader in Reserve Management Services in 2018, and the Best Treasury Services Initiative in 2020, this is another strategic win for Calypso and a remarkable testimony of our collaborative work, expertise, and long-term commitment to the central banking community. It recognizes, especially in these turbulent times, our contribution to international monetary and financial stability as a mission-critical technology provider in reserve, treasury, risk, and collateral management.
The next award is for Risk Management Technology. This US technology provider has initiated a group-level response to the IBOR transitions by supporting central banks and official institutions such as the Bank of Canada and the European Investment Bank with their migration to new reference rates. Its systems also help central banks to cope with market disruptions during the early stages of the coronavirus pandemic, allowing some to quickly introduce new tools such as swaps and lending instruments. The winner is Ion Treasury. Now we turn to the award for Treasury Systems Initiative. This UK firm has played an important role in assisting central banks with their liquidity management operations, a pressing issue during the past year. It's developed an impressive client base with its data-driven approach, offering users access to timely market information to guide interventions while helping them to review their liquidity operations from front to back. Congratulations to Refinitiv. The next award is Specialised Lending Initiative. Major central banks responded to the COVID-19 crisis by expanding their unconventional policies, notably via asset purchase programmes. In the Eurozone, due to its large holdings, the European Central Bank needs to return liquidity to the securities market to make sure it works smoothly. It's an area where Clearstream has become a key partner for institutions including the Deutsche Bundesbank, the Bank of Italy and the Bank of Portugal, in addition to ensuring central banks avoid the unintended consequences of maintaining liquidity in the market. Clearstream also aims to offer the best possible returns through access to its global liquidity hub. Congratulations to Clearstream.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, we at Clearstream feel very honored to have received Central Banking Specialized Lending Initiative Award 2021. We are pleased to be the provider of choice for so many central banks around the world, and hence to support central banks in their initiatives to provide markets with liquidity and make collateral available. Clearstream has a long track record in securities lending. We have invested a lot in our technology and in our processes to make them robust and reliable. But the real recipe behind this success is our team, a team which optimizes our customer portfolios day in and day out. So this award goes to my team around Alex, Xavier and Bruno. Thank you very much, and thanks again for Central Banking and the jury for having recognized our effort in this space. Thank you very much.
We now turn to the Global Markets Award. The COVID-19 pandemic triggered major turbulence in global markets, raising the importance of steadfast counterparties for central banks and other official institutions worldwide. BNP Paribas stepped in to support its central bank clients, even in the most challenging of trading conditions. The bank was also a leader in green bond issuance and was involved in innovative projects to support central bank reserve managers in areas such as gold, fixed income, FX, and other services. Many congratulations to BNP Paribas.
On behalf of BNP Paribas and the Global Markets team, I would like to thank Central Banking for awarding the bank with this prestigious Global Market Award. This is a recognition of the commitment of the bank to the offshore sector in general and central banks in particular. I'd like to thank all our central bank clients for trusting BNP Paribas in their day-to-day business, but as well in the strategic dialogue. We're very honored with this award, which is as well a Sustainable Design Award, sustainable finance being at the heart of the bank. Thank you.
Now we turn to the award for Innovation in Reserve Management. In March 2020, at the height of the COVID-19 induced volatility, the World Bank Treasury experienced delays confirming cash deposit transactions with a key counterparty for its proprietary and client portfolios. Understanding the importance of finding a solution quickly, the World Bank Treasury and ANZ Bank created an automated confirmation message system based on Swift MT320. The system went live in July, resulting in reduced errors and improved operational efficiency and portfolio returns for many of the World Bank Treasury's central bank clients. Congratulations to the World Bank Treasury and ANZ. Now we turn to Asset Manager of the Year. This asset manager has reinforced its position as one of the leading institutions serving reserve managers worldwide during the past year, assisting clients even at the height of the coronavirus pandemic. Its official institutions group has consistently supported long-term relationships, offering a suite of services tailored to address both new and old challenges facing central banks. Key among them has been educating central banks about ESG investment, offering a path to adopting these principles in the management of foreign exchange portfolios. The winner is BNP Paribas Asset Management.
This is particularly meaningful to us as an organization that has been serving the central bank community for decades. We are proud to call more than 60 official institutions clients today, and of those, 26 are central banks. Year after year, we strive to remain as close to this community as possible to best serve their investment needs. Over the past year of the pandemic, we were particularly impressed by how flexible the central banks were and how they continued to make changes to their asset allocation while also introducing new sectors to the reserve management program. I truly believe that as an organization, we have focused our efforts on listening to our clients and their needs. And as a result, we've been able to prioritize elements that are of the utmost importance to the central bank community in particular. For over 20 years now, we've offered dedicated seminars and customized trainings, including e-learning formats and now virtual events, which facilitate the interaction between our experts and the central bank community. In addition, sustainability is at the core of what we do at BNP Paribas Asset Management, and that is why we became one of the first asset managers to successfully integrate ESG into all of our investment strategies. We're extremely proud of our efforts being recognized by central banking, and I'm delighted to share this award with the rest of our organization. Finally, I'd like to thank all of our central bank and official institution clients for the trust they've placed in us. We look forward to our continued partnership as we navigate the future together. Thank you very much.
Now we turn to another very important award, the award for Reserve Manager of the Year. This Asian central bank has transformed its previous reserve management approach into a new sophisticated multi-asset and multi-currency portfolio. This stems from bold reforms to its reserve management framework, governance and organisational structures, human resources and technology. A new macro factor SAA framework was adopted that considers assets and liabilities linked to the currency as well as asset cycle risks. The adoption of this framework and its exchange rate stabilisation policy played a key role in rapidly reversing the currency's depreciation while preserving reserve levels during the unprecedented shocks due to COVID-19 in the first half of 2020. The winner is Bank Indonesia.
On behalf of Bank Indonesia, we are very honored to accept this Reserve Manager of the Year as a part of Central Banking Awards 2021. Our deepest appreciation goes to the Awards Committee and Central Banking publication. We sincerely regard this award as a global recognition of Bank Indonesia reforms in managing foreign exchange reserve, especially in the implementation of macro factor approach to the strategic asset allocation. This is an integral part of Bank Indonesia strategy to integrate the reserve management in our central bank policy mix in meeting the mandate of monetary and financial stability under the unprecedented challenges in the financial markets. Our reform will continue. We are still living in continuing uncertainty and volatility in the global economic and financial market from the COVID-19 pandemic. I therefore would like to call on our fellow central banks and financial communities to strengthen coordination and build optimism in navigating the ongoing economic recovery for the people. Once again, thank you very much.
Now we turn to climate portfolio services. Central banks, sovereign wealth funds and other official sector asset owners increasingly need to receive early warnings about any risk exposures they may have to entities breaching their ESG standards. In this effort, RepRisk has emerged as a partner of choice. Instead of scoring companies based on their policies, the Swiss firm uses AI and a team of analysts to focus on the real impact of a company's operations on the environment, labour conditions and social responsibility, helping clients to identify entities not complying with environmental criteria set out in their guidelines. Many congratulations to RepRisk.
On behalf of RepRisk, I am honored to accept the Climate Portfolio Services Award, and I would like to thank Central Banking for this recognition of our work. I'd also like to thank our clients who trust us every day to support their ESG due diligence and their ESG integration efforts. Of course, I also want to thank the entire RepRisk team, from our research analysts to our IT and machine learning experts and everyone in between, who work tirelessly to help us achieve our mission of driving positive change through the power of data. We are thrilled to be on the cutting edge as ESG has become a critical factor in financial decision-making, from central banks to sovereign wealth funds and pension funds, and from banks to insurances and asset managers. RepRisk's approach is unique in the industry. We combine AI and machine learning together with human intelligence to systematically analyze public information and identify material ESG risks. This best of both worlds combination helps us to ensure that we can deliver clients actionable data while also giving them the timeliness and coverage that they need. We're very proud of our 15-year track record of helping clients identify, assess, and quantify ESG risks such as climate. and we are very grateful for this recognition from central banking. Thank you.
Next up is the award for Climate Initiative. This financial institution has led a number of efforts to facilitate the transition to a greener financial system, including boosting liquidity via its support for green bond issuance in Hong Kong, Egypt and Indonesia. It's also played a noteworthy role in developing standards related to climate risk, particularly through work with the Bank of England, MAS and NGFS. These efforts to support standards and connect liquidity were also highlighted by its work helping to build the Fast Infra programme developed with the IFC and OECD. The winner, of course, is HSBC.
HSBC is honoured and delighted to receive the inaugural 2021 Climate Initiative Award from Central Banking, which recognises our work with both central banks and other official institutions in addressing climate change. On behalf of HSBC, I would like to thank the central banking judges for choosing us as the winner of for the first time of this award. And we'd also like to thank our central bank and other official institution clients for their valued support and collaboration.
We now turn to another very important award, the award for Green Initiative. This European central bank has blazed a trail for others by disclosing climate-related risks across all its operations, a key step in ensuring a sustainable economic future. Notably, it became the first central bank to disclose climate-related risks associated with its monetary policy portfolio, arguably the biggest step so far towards full disclosure of climate risks by any central bank. It's also heavily encouraged those it regulates to follow a similar approach. Many congratulations to the Bank of England.
I want to say thank you on behalf of all of my colleagues at the Bank of England to Central Banking for awarding us the Green Initiative Award for 2021 for our TCFD disclosure. When I say on behalf of all of our colleagues at the Bank of England, I absolutely mean it. There were so many people involved in the production of that disclosure, from the people who print banknotes, from those who heat our buildings, to those who buy our bonds, and even our board. Everybody contributed to putting that disclosure together. We found it an incredibly valuable exercise in ensuring that all of the bank knew what climate change meant for their responsibilities, in looking ahead strategically to think about where did we need to be, and as well thinking about practically how do all of the firms that we regulate and that we want to comply with these requirements, how do they experience complying with TCFD? Practicing what you preach is a really good exercise, and we learned a lot from it, thinking, for example, about how hard it is to get forward-looking metrics that speak to the risks and the opportunities from climate change. What's most important, though, is that it drove different decisions. When you look through the disclosure process of what you're doing, you think, do we need to do something differently? And we have. We now have a updated remit from our Treasury for how we manage our corporate bond portfolio. And just last week, we put out a discussion paper describing how we were going to do that differently. All of that stemmed from going through the disclosure process. We're just about to sign off our second such disclosure. I encourage you all to have a go at doing it, practicing what you preach, learning how and where you need to improve your operations is a really useful exercise. And I am thrilled that our work was recognised for that. Thank you, Central Banking.
The next award is the award for Risk Manager. This central bank has embarked on an ambitious reserve management monetary operations and financial system stability framework that requires sound risk management and monitoring. The framework stood up to the test from the coronavirus shock, allowing the central bank to defend excess volatility in the exchange rate as well as the functioning of the internal market while preserving reserve levels. Daily risk thresholds were eased in some areas to avoid the forced liquidation of positions, which was only possible due to the confidence provided by strict liquidity stress tests that have been practiced for some time. The institution also made important use of hedge positions and enhanced international liquidity lines. The winner is the National Bank of Georgia.
It is a great honor to receive this award from Central Banking, which recognizes National Bank of Georgia's achievements in risk management of international reserves. We consider adequate foreign exchange reserves as one of the pillars of financial stability and development of our economy. Therefore, over the years, we have steadily accumulated reserves and managed them prudently, as we believed there would be times when they served their purpose. A decade-long development of reserve management function ensured that the country had its reserves at full disposal to weather times of extreme stress. Everything we have built was put under test by COVID-19 pandemic's triggered events, both globally and locally. Looking back, we are proud to conclude that we have prepared well. I want to thank the entire National Bank of Georgia's team in charge of reserves management. We owe special recognition to our development partners, most notably World Bank Treasury with the RAMP program. I would like to thank the award committee for this recognition. The award is a great inspiration for us going forward.
Now we come to Initiative of the Year. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, few central banks were better placed to address the exceptional business interruptions than the Saudi Central Bank. SAMA began developing its business continuity plans more than 4 years ago with the aim to manage crises in a manner that would minimize business disruption related to operational, financial, reputational, legal and regulatory risks. This meticulous advanced planning, coupled with specific adaptations, enabled the central bank, employees and systems to continue operating critical functions while addressing additional cybersecurity risks, despite COVID-19 lockdowns and other restrictions. Congratulations to the Saudi Central Bank for its business continuity program.
On behalf of the Saudi Central Bank, I am pleased to accept this Award of Excellence from the Central Banking Committee in recognition of SAMA's Business Continuity Program during the COVID-19 crisis. In any business, precautionary preparedness is the key to mitigating operational risks. Business Continuity Plan is a reflection of a resilient organizational culture. Historically, SAMA has resorted to business continuity plans in crisis to stay ahead of untoward incidents and preserve its reputation as the guardian of financial stability. SAMA will continue pursuing business continuity plans in crisis by following the leading practices in that space to ensure least disruptions to its operations in particular and the financial sector in general.
The next award is for advisory services. This consultancy has built a powerful reputation for its expertise in financial risk management and governance, demonstrating an ability to tackle issues both from the top down and the bottom up, with the firm being notably strong in the supervisory area. It's accrued an impressive global client base among the central banking community, working on projects ranging from supervisory budgeting and the review of agile working at major European central banks through to the evaluation of designs for central bank digital currencies and the analysis of financial ecosystems. The winner is Oliver Wyman.
Hello, my name is Ted Moynihan. I'm the head of the financial services business over at Oliver Wyman. I'd like to say a huge thank you for this award for the Central Banking Advisor for 2021. and we really are very appreciative of this. We've spent decades building up a team that can support and advise central banks around the world on improving our financial system and our monetary system, and thereby make a contribution to the societies that we're in. We're very inspired by the opportunity to do that, and I would like to thank our teams for all their hard work, but also really say a huge thank you to our clients for the trust that you put in us to support and advise you. Again, thank you very much.
Now we come to the award for Communications Initiative. In the past 12 months, this European Central Bank launched 2 mobile apps, one for the general public and the other for its employees, marking the latest step in a long journey to redesign its digital communication channels. In many ways, this award recognises the journey that the Bank of Portugal has taken to revamp each of its communication channels, which includes the redesign of its website and internal intranet, as well as the launch of its social media capabilities. Congratulations to the Bank of Portugal.
I am very pleased to receive this award from Central Banking for the work we have carried out in communication over the last years. This award is the recognition of the transformation the bank has made on the communication channels, with the main goal of becoming closer to its audiences. It should also be an incentive to continue paving the way towards a more open and closer to society institution. Engagement with people and stakeholders from the civil society is a priority for me. I believe that a central bank should be committed to continuously explain its policy and actions to the citizens, but also to listen from them. We can only be credible if we ensure that our goals and performance are truly understood and shared by the people we serve. Good communication is instrumental to this achievement. Thank you very much for this award.
The next award is another central bank category, the Transparency Award. The launch of this central bank from the Caucasus new financial education website, FinEdu, in 2020 was just the latest in a string of efforts aimed at improving both the quantity and the quality of the information released as part of a strategic goal to improve communications. Transparency is viewed as a vital part in making the National Bank of Georgia's inflation targeting regime work more efficiently while promoting financial stability and sound conduct. Congratulations to the National Bank of Georgia.
It is a great honor to receive the award from Central Banking Publications for the second consecutive year. Main mandate of the National Bank of Georgia is not only to ensure the price stability and facilitate sustainable economic growth in the country, but also to ensure transparency of the financial system. In recent years, we have paid special attention to increasing transparency and developing various channels of communication with the public. Regular communication improved the management of inflation expectations and helped improve the transmission of monetary policy to the economy. Transparency is one of the top priorities for the National Bank of Georgia. It has been preserved and succeeded even in the times of COVID-19. The National Bank of Georgia has launched the first financial education portal in Georgia, an excellent possibility to collect a lot of educational resources created by various stakeholders at one place, explaining monetary and financial policy decisions, communicating openly and continuously with financial market and general public is our priority mission. This is what National Bank of Georgia's regular, transparent reporting and proactive communication serve, regardless of difficult or calm periods. We believe that transparency and permanent dialogue are the key aspects leading us to success.
Next, we turn to the award for Website of the Year. This Asian central bank has significantly improved its website, putting members of the public front and centre of its website redesign. Launched at the end of 2020, despite COVID-19 lockdowns, the site has been made responsive to the growing number of mobile visitors and places a greater emphasis on explaining the central bank's core functions in clear language, illustrated with visual aids. The central bank also deployed a new technology in the form of an AI chat box and provided its governor with a forum to address members of the public directly. The winner, of course, is the Central Bank of the Philippines.
On behalf of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, I would like to convey my utmost gratitude to central banking publications for recognizing our efforts to upgrade our website, bsp.gov.ph. This Website of the Year award only confirms that we are on the right track in revamping and converting the BSP website into a potent tool for central bank communication, helping us in our goal to bring the BSP closer to the Filipino people. Again, this recognition inspires and motivates us to move forward in reforming, innovating, and transforming the BSP's operations and services in line with the dynamic and digital new economy. Thank you very much.
The next award is the Award for Economics in Central Banking. The COVID-19 crisis served as another reminder of the tight financial interlinkages in the global economy, as well as its heavy reliance on the US dollar. The working paper, Patterns in Invoicing Currency in Global Trade, could not have been better timed. The paper presents the results of an extensive data gathering exercise on global invoicing currencies, filling an empirical void that existed alongside economists' increasingly detailed theoretical understanding of dominant currency pricing. The paper also sheds light on critical issues for the global financial system, which could help central banks develop a more holistic policy-making approach while opening up new avenues for future research. The winner is Patterns in Invoicing Currency in Global Trade. Now we come to Central Bank of the Year. Lockdowns and other measures undertaken to contain the COVID-19 health emergency in 2020 sparked a major economic crisis. That financial markets did not completely break down also was due primarily to the actions of one central bank, the Federal Reserve System. The US central bank pulled out all the stops in its efforts to shore up dollar liquidity, and it did so extraordinarily quickly. In little over 2 months from March 2020, the Fed had committed $31 billion in average daily discount window demand, $2.5 trillion cumulative to repo lending, and $2.2 trillion in asset purchases. On the macroprudential side, it released up to $250 billion in supplementary leverage ratio adjustments, strongly advised banks to restrict dividend payments, and rapidly changed its stress tests of major US banks to ensure the banking system could function. The Fed's actions also underpinned international dollar markets, with rates lowered for existing bilateral swap lines and also extended to other institutions. The Fed set up a temporary repo facility for foreign and international monetary authorities, which also boosted confidence and eased selling pressure in the Treasuries market. The Fed undertook several other important steps during 2020, including, of course, its decision to become the first central bank to adopt an average inflation targeting monetary policy regime after an extensive and open consultation period. Congratulations to the Federal Reserve. We now turn to another of the major awards, Governor of the Year. The leadership skills of central bank governors were tested to the full in 2020 as they implemented emergency actions aimed at preventing financial and economic meltdown due to the coronavirus pandemic hit. This governor has upheld the authority, integrity and autonomy of his central bank during this troubled time against significant external and internal pressures. He led Bank of Mexico's governing board to implement prudential monetary policy, liquidity operations and credit loosening at a time when the peso was under pressure and the central bank had limited fiscal support from the country's government. He's faced down a series of attempts, deliberate or otherwise, by Mexico's president to lessen the central bank's autonomy, including on issues related to staff wages and financial transfers to the government, responding with firm statements of principle, a refusal to be cowed and a willingness to seek practical solutions to the problems. Meanwhile, Bank of Mexico has continued to upgrade its core functions and improve transparency for the benefit of the Mexican people. Many congratulations to the Governor of the Bank of Mexico, Alejandro Díaz de León.
I am deeply honored to accept, on behalf of Banco de Mexico, this prestigious Central Banking Award. It is an extensive recognition to the permanent work of the central bank. In 1994, Banco de Mexico became autonomous, with a clear price stability mandate and two interrelated objectives: promote the sound development of the financial system and the payment system too. Throughout the 21st century, we have left behind the high inflation levels of the past and have anchored long-term inflation expectations close to the 3% permanent target. Central banks need to foster economic, price, and financial stability as key public goods needed for sustainable growth and development, especially in the challenging context of the pandemic. COVID-19 caused a global synchronized economic recession with large shocks in financial and real sectors. We faced a sharp increase in risk aversion in global financial markets, with a strong impact on emerging markets in terms of capital outflows, foreign exchange depreciation, and a sharp increase in risk premium. In emerging markets, the main challenge has been to maintain a resilient macro mix and be conscious about the policy space available under different adverse scenarios, making risk management an essential part of policy making. In the first months of the pandemic, risk aversion and domestic financial markets volatility required a broad set of measures to foster liquidity. Banco de Mexico announced several facilities that provided liquidity up to 3.3 percentage points of GDP. That was expected to be transitory shock is now becoming a longer-lasting one. The pandemic will have significant heterogeneous effects across countries, sectors, and groups in society. The pandemic has also accelerated the technological divide among individuals and firms and inequality in education and development opportunities. For emerging markets, external and idiosyncratic shocks rarely work exclusively on the demand side, and they tend to include supply shocks, exchange rate pressures, and capital outflows, often exerting opposing pressures on inflation and larger monetary policy trade-offs. It was precisely the case during the pandemic. In spite of a large negative output gap, and in contrast to the other economies, since June 2020, inflation in Mexico has remained clearly above target, and we also experienced a record contraction of non-residents' holdings of government securities. It is clearly desirable to support the recovery with an orderly and sustainable reduction of interest rates throughout the yield curve, not only with the short-term interest rate. And to reduce medium and long-term interest rates, a low-risk premium is critical. This requires a prudent monetary policy that maintains price stability and a low inflation risk premium. This has been a key part of Banco de Mexico's strategy. In addition to the immediate challenges posed by the pandemic, several issues remain to be addressed by central banks. All central banks face the challenge of incorporating information technology innovations in payments and financial systems. We need to provide electronic payments and digital currencies safely and orderly for the benefit of our societies. In emerging markets, this is also an opportunity to close the financial inclusion gap. Also, it is essential to incorporate environmental risks into the standard risk management framework of financial institutions. At times, when social scars are large, like the ones that result from the pandemic, polarization tends to increase. I am convinced that when a country lacks a broadly shared vision of the future, it cannot enjoy a stable present, as it is continuously distracted in zero-sum struggles. Independent central banks are institutions that need to redouble our efforts to be fully accountable, transparent, and communicate better. This must be a permanent effort to keep society's confidence as a sound provider of fiat money for the common good. Central banking is a prestigious forum for the analysis and discussion of these and other topics of interest to central banks. For this reason, I thank you once more on behalf of the entire Banco de Mexico team for this distinction. Thank you very much.
We will now turn to an award that recognises the contribution of one person who's forged an enduring legacy in central banking during a long career in academia and public policy making, and is the winner of our Lifetime Achievement Award. That man is Charles Goodhart, a professor of economics at the London School of Economics and former policymaker at the Bank of England. Goodhart has made theoretical and practical contributions to central banking throughout his work as an economist and economic practitioner for more than half a century. He has his own economics law and played a key role in the rediscovery of monetary policy in the UK, the formation of Hong Kong's currency peg, and the New Zealand model of operationally independent central banks pursuing a specific monetary policy mandate. Goodhart's influence on central banking has stemmed from his ability to link creative ideas to immediate practical decisions. While he's well known in the central banking community for his research on an array of subjects, monetary policy, the exchange rate mechanism, and monetary union, the role and function of central banks, and financial stability, much of his academic publishing related to the analysis of foreign exchange markets, where he pioneered the use of high-frequency data. Goodhart's more recent important contributions include work on financial stability, financial regulation, and demographic change, where he's detailed his concerns that sharper than expected rises in inflation, combined with extra burdens related to financial stability, may challenge the future operational independence of central banks. Goodhart is characterised by colleagues and peers as a brilliant and generous person with a formidable ability to process complex ideas, smoothly linking theory with practice and explaining it all in terms that are clearly understandable to non-experts. His lifetime of effort has had a profound and pervasive impact on many central banks, and combined this with his patient efforts to train younger generations, he's influenced a new generation of central bankers. I'm delighted to present Charles Goodhart with his Central Banking Lifetime Achievement Award.
I feel extremely honoured that central banking has given me the Lifetime Award. It's been quite a long lifetime. I first entered the Bank of England in 1968, and a massive number of things have happened since then. Taken one example, the targets have gone from trying to maintain the pegged exchange rate to a monetary target to an inflation target. Again, we have gone from having the central bank subservient to the Treasury to being proudly independent, though only, of course, for setting interest rates and other monetary operations. In the meantime, the central bank has gone from having the its lowest balance sheet relative to GDP ever, below 5%, to its highest balance sheet ever, over 35% of GDP, a changing factor of almost 10 times during that period. And there have been a whole series of other changes as well. When I first entered, bank runs and financial crises were thought to be things of the past. Now they occur, unfortunately, only too often. Again, regulation was based on cash and liquidity ratios. No capital ratios were enforced when I started. Then it turned to capital ratios without liquidity ratios. Now it's both. And so there have been many other changes as well over this period. And I feel very privileged to have had the opportunity to observe, to chronicle, and also, in some occasions, actually to influence in some small part the changes that have occurred during this period.
We have now reached the end of the awards presentation. I'd like to thank Robert Pringle, Daniel Hinge, Dan Hardy, Rachel King, Victor Mendez Barrera, William Towning, Alice Shen and Rob Evers for all their hard work reviewing, vetting, writing and publishing the Central Banking Awards, as well as Chandler Clark and John Cook for their efforts to support this video. My congratulations on behalf of Central Banking to all of the award winners, and my thanks to all of you for virtually joining this celebration.